morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm your host, Jessica Williams. Thank you for joining me this morning. We have a full show for you, so let's get into it. First up, Summit Physical Therapy gives us the rundown on their free fall assessment and corresponding therapy treatment. Then an expert from veterinarian.org joins me to share safety tips for managing your pets over the holiday season. Then the Fort Wayne Philharmonic is here to highlight their upcoming holiday shows. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
This segment sponsored by Summit Physical Therapy. I am at Summit Physical Therapy, which offers high-quality physical therapy services and state-of-the-art techniques. And today I'm going to go inside and learn about their free assessment and their Don't Fall program. Let's do it. Joining me now is Ashley Holt, who is a physical therapist, and Austin Jacoby, physical therapist assistant. Hello, how are you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Okay, so let's dive into this really cool program that you all offer here at Summit Physical Therapy, which is the Don't Fall program. I feel like we all need that.
Yeah.
So give me an overview and kind of a recap about the program.
So it's a free program that Summit Physical Therapy offers to essentially try to prevent falls in a population that would risk having a fall at home. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to catch it on the front end to try to prevent that unfortunate circumstance from happening.
Mm-hmm. And what would be some of the causes for people to have falls just around their home?
Well, there can be a lot of causes. So we look at, with this assessment, we'll look at like what kind of, do they have any fall history? If they're, usually a fall assessment would be good for somebody who's 65 years and older, or if they have fallen twice in the past year. And then we'll look at their medication list. Usually people who are on 4 medications or more are at higher risk for falls because those we all know that medications interact with each other and it's hard to determine who's going to have bad interactions and who's going to have not bad interactions. And that can be like low blood pressure or getting dizzy when you get up or just like not being able to feel where you are. So we'll look at that, and then we also look at their home environment. When they fall, is it over a rug? Do they not have good lighting in their home so they can't see obstacles? And so we can talk about modifications with that. And then the last part, the part that we really focus on, is the strength and the balance testing. So what we do with that is there's certain balance tools that we use for different levels of people. So even if you are high functioning in the community, there are balance tests out there for you that would show deficits. And so then it would be like, once we find those deficits, what kind of exercises can we give that person so that way they do not have a fall, or at least they can work on things to prevent a fall from happening if they haven't had one.
Yeah, so you make a really good point, because I think sometimes people assume that a fall is age related, but really, I mean, it could be medications, as you said, something off with your equilibrium, or just so many other things. And so this test really helps them identify it by you going through each steps of the assessment, and the best thing about it is that the assessment is free, which is really nice.
That is the best thing about it, and who can say no to that? And a lot of people think, well, I'm healthy, I walk, and it's really been shown that walking is not enough for balance.
Yeah.
Because you're just moving forward and you're just doing the same kind of motions every day. Mm-hmm. Life is not the same every day. We have to adapt and we have to change. So we focus on how do they do those things and which parts of those things do they not do well, and then try to fix them.
Yeah, and so I'm sure that you work with so many different patients on this, and so you have this specific balancing test. So kind of share with me, Ashley, about the test and like which areas do you actually have them walk through?
So some of the testing that we do is for lower level patients that have a lot of balance, like say they've had falls in the past, like say they've had 2 falls in the past year. Some simple ones would be like standing with your feet together, closing your eyes, and seeing how much sway they have. Do they lose their balance? Do they need help? Do they need support? And then some of the higher, you move up, some of the higher level things would be like, how do you respond to those external forces? that happen in day-to-day life. Say you're out in the community and somebody bumps into you. Can you withstand that bump? So pushing somebody in the chest a couple times to see how they respond to that. Can they correct that?
Yeah.
Because all balances is really trying to keep your center of gravity within your base of support. But life isn't always like that. So how do you correct it when it gets outside the base of support is where we see problems. And then the final thing is the biggest one, you talked about that equilibrium. So what happens when you move your head side to side? Because our balance is made up of 3 systems. And so each one of those tests are testing these 3 different systems. So we can really see what system is failing this person, whether that be sensory, their eyesight, or that equilibrium that we have.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's really great. And so Austin, share with me about the outcome of this test. So people come in, they get the assessment under the Don't Fall program. What can people expect for the next steps?
Yeah, I think our best case outcome is that someone is a low fall risk. So we test them out and it shows, hey, you're actually pretty safe. And so here's like the 1 or 2 areas, kind of like when you get your car checked out at a shop. Here's kind of like your yellow light areas that you want to work on, and we give some exercises, some tips and guidance to them or their caregiver who attends with them. And they work on it, and hopefully we prevented the things from getting worse. But sometimes people do end up in that medium or high fall risk. We get them stand up out of a chair and they fall back into the chair. We shut their eyes and all of a sudden they need help. And that's just a high indicator of this person's probably going to experience a fall. Unfortunately, 1 out of 5 people in that kind of fall risk category are going to experience a hospitalization that is related to a fall, whether it's a broken hip or a brain injury. And so when we know the statistics are high like that, we want to take that person in that medium or high risk and we want to offer them our services.
Okay, that's great, because as you said, prevention is always better than actually falling and then having to fix it. But if they fall and they need fixing, then you guys are here to help them.
And it has been shown that with like 6 to 9 visits over a year even, it doesn't have to be all at once, but if we just like slowly work on this, 6 to 9 visits over a year can decrease a fall up to 35%.
Oh, wow.
So it's not like it can't be changed or modified. And then with all those home modifications too, if you reduce the risk that way, it's even more. And so then we just keep people safer and keep them at home longer, which is our ultimate goal.
Yes,
Yep.
and if someone is interested in learning more about your Don't Fall program and signing up for this free assessment, where should they go?
Yeah, they should go to our website and ultimately just give us a call and let us know that they would like to take advantage of that. And then we just schedule a little 30-minute appointment and kind of see what the best case scenario is for them.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessica.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Jessica.
And if you would like more information about Summit Physical Therapy, we'll have their website listed below, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Summit Physical Therapy.
Have an idea for the show? Want to find out how you can be a guest? Contact us at livinglocal15@wayne.com.
Veterinarians.org offers objective advice, expert information, and helpful tools to answer your pet questions. And today we are going to get some pet safety advice for the colder weather and also the holiday season. And joining me is Jamie Fryer, a vet with a wide range of experience from animal clinical practice to working with industry professionals. Hello, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, thank you. Okay, so let's dive in. I know that the website offers so much information and people have an opportunity to chat with a professional. So I'm so thrilled that you're joining me today to kind of give us some advice. So we're about to roll into the colder temperature. And of course, different people have their pets and they want to keep them safe. So can you start off by sharing a couple of top pet tips when it comes to the colder weather?
Well, a few things that people should know. If you think about it, if it's too cold for you outside, it's probably too cold for your pet. So it's important to make sure that they have shelter. Ideally, bring them inside during the cold temperatures. And if not, if they have maybe a doghouse or something outside, make sure that there's a curtain or something to block the most of the wind. Salt can also be an issue if they salt the roads where you live. Salt can be damaging to the skin, and it can also be irritating if the dog licks it, can be upsetting to the GI tract. So make sure that if your dog encounters road salt, to wash their paws off with warm water before letting them free.
Yes. And what do you think about the clothing? I mean, I know that there's different fashions that people like to put on their pets, but there are also
Sure.
like little mittens and scarves and things like that. Does that really help and play a role in keeping them warm?
It really can, especially with those shorter coated dogs, like the bully types, or beagles, things like that. They don't have a lot of insulation, so they do need that extra protection from the cold sometimes. So sweaters or and booties can also be great too if there's snow or ice on the ground.
Okay. And are there any animals in particular that may thrive in the cold weather, that they actually appreciate being outside?
Well, there are some of the dogs with longer coats certainly seem to enjoy the weather. I have Shelties myself, and they really enjoy when it snows. They like to play outside. I think that dogs like the Malamute and Husky and breeds like that, they tend to enjoy the cold weather a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And what about, okay, so holiday season is happening, and so people are decorating, and there's so much more stuff right around the house and kind of in the path of the way an animal may travel normally. So how can people just really try to keep their home hazard free?
Well, there's a lot of, like you said, a lot of extra things that we bring into the house around the holidays. Plants can be a big thing. It's very important to know, as far as toxicities, what you're bringing into your house plant-wise. So things like lilies, mistletoe, hollyberries can be very toxic to pets. I'm sure we've all heard the story about poinsettias not being good for pets. They can cause some GI upset. And the Christmas tree as well can be a little bit of a hindrance for pets. The pine needles can be actually, they're very sharp. And so they can be damaging to a pet's throat or stomach if they're swallowed. The tree water is not good for them. It can be full of bacteria. Things like lights and tinsel, if they're eaten, they can cause foreign bodies and issues in the GI tract as well. So definitely things that we need to be careful of. I know in my house, when I have younger dogs, and we usually put a fence around the tree, because we know that they'll get to it otherwise, and it's best to keep them away from it.
Yes, and of course, the best thing about the holiday season is the food. So there will be new food options kind of rolling in over the holiday that maybe people don't typically eat throughout the year. And of course, you have your little doggy, the kids like to feed and share with their animals. What food safety tips do you have when it comes to some of these items that we may eat over the holiday season?
Yeah, a lot of the things that we eat are just going to be too much for our pets. So one thing that we see a lot after the holidays is a disorder called pancreatitis, where the pancreas gets inflamed and irritated. And that comes from having too much rich food. So really, the majority of things that we can feed that are safe for dogs are going to be things before you cook them. So, raw green beans and raw carrots, apples, sweet potato without, brown sugar or the marshmallows or any of the things that people like to add. And keep away from things like grapes, onions, garlic, and sweets in general, and especially chocolate. If we have chocolate desserts, we want to keep those away from our dogs.
Absolutely. Well, that was some really great advice and tips. Thank you so much, Jamie. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, take care.
Thanks, you too.
And if you would like more information, get some advice, some tips from experts, you can actually go to veterinarian.org for more information. We'll have their website listed below, and we'll be right back.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
This segment sponsored by Fort Wayne Philharmonic. The Fort Wayne Philharmonic is a live orchestra providing wonderful entertainment to our entire community. And here to talk about their upcoming season of shows is their music director, Andrew Constantine. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's
Lovely
it
to see you.
going?
It's going well. It's going well, but it's also extremely busy.
Yes.
And the Philharmonic, as you say, we're a live orchestra. My goodness, are we live?
Yeah.
And over the next month, I think we have more performances crammed in all over the region than any other time of the year.
Right.
And if I can talk about those, we begin, I think it's on the 7th of December with an event called Symphony of Steel at the Duesenberg Car Museum. And many of your viewers will know that as well as the Philharmonic, the orchestra existing as a large group, we have lots of smaller groups, lots of ensembles that we take out into the community. And this is a magical occasion when we're going to bring all of those ensembles together. And they're going to play throughout the museum. So that's going to be a novel and very entertaining event.
I love that, a novel. That museum is so beautiful. I have visited there before, and just the ambiance and the history and just the vibe of it. I can only imagine their location mixed with the orchestra will make for an amazing night.
I think so. It's the first time we've been there to use it as a venue, so everyone's very excited about it. And I hope those who can attend will make a beeline to the museum and enjoy those fantastic cars as well.
Yes. So that's on the 7th.
That's right. That's right.
And then we roll into your biggest show.
Oh my goodness, Holiday Pops. Yeah, this is, I think, the one event in the year that absolutely everybody in Fort Wayne knows about, and the idea of our Holiday Pop show resonates with families throughout the region. And so we have, I think it's at least 5 performances I'm conducting, beginning on Thursday, the 14th of December.
Yes.
And they're at our new home at Purdue, Fort Wayne, in the Our Performance Hall there. A wonderful and comfortable venue with a tremendous acoustic. Well, you know, you've been there.
Yes. I got to see you all, and it was amazing.
Yes, it was. And thank you for that. Thank you. So that begins on the 14th. We have a marvelous vocalist as our guest soloist, Dee Daniels, and she's a tremendous act in her own right. But we'll be partnering with Dee on a lot of favorite Christmas holiday songs, carols, you name it's all there. We'll have tap dancing Santas as usual. We'll have the Hallelujah Chorus. We'll have a sing-along. We have our own chorale taken from the Fort Wayne Philharmonic Chorus. We'll be playing selections from John Williams' holiday music, Christmas music, Home Alone, Polar Express is in there.
Okay.
I tried to memorize it all before coming on the set, you know, and to be honest with you, there is so much glorious music in there. I just look down the list and keep going, and I can't remember it all. It's so much, but I'll be wagging away, conducting, and the orchestra will be playing along, and Dee singing, chorus singing. Fort Wayne Children's Choir will be joining us as well, tremendous group there. So I hope out of those, let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, out of those 4 days, people can find a slot when they can come along. And of course, because we do all of those performances, it's as a result of people wanting to be there and buying tickets.
Right.
So buy your tickets now. fwphil.org is the place to go for all your philharmonical needs.
Yes, and they have to get tickets before they sell out. And what's so cool is that you all offer night performances and then also matinee shows over the
That's right.
weekend. And it is quite an experience. I mean, walking into that venue and just how big and broad the room is, and there's no bad seat in the building. I mean, you get different views, you can feel the music and just kind of like move along. I mean, it's a really cool night. I think that everyone should experience it.
Yes, and I hope they will. I love being in that hall. It's new to us this year. We have rehearsed there a lot for years, but now we're bringing the audience there. It's very convenient, great parking, everything is undercover. You don't have to wrestle with traffic, crossing roads, things like this. And as you said, it's really comfortable. The seats are fantastic. Everywhere has a great view, and the sound is just wonderful. The best acoustic in the town.
Yeah, and then the final event, which is Messiah by Candlelight, that's happening on December 22nd. So tell me about that event. or that performance rather.
Yes, Benjamin Rivera, our wonderful chorus master, conducts that. And of course, Handel's Messiah is, well, what can you say about it? It's a legendary oratorio from the 18th century, and it stood the test of time, raises the hairs on the backs of people's necks. Things like the Hallelujah chorus and some of the other choruses and arias in there. It's a glorious piece of music, and something that I think no holiday season is complete without.
Yeah.
So we love to be able to bring that to our audiences. The orchestra loves playing it, the chorus are in their element, and there are 4 vocal soloists in that as well. I love conducting it. Of course, Benjamin loves conducting it as well, his choir, so he'll be doing it. He's an expert in this, and it's something that I know is going to be a raging success.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited. Yes. And so thank you so much for sharing about it. It sounds like that you all have a lot to offer in December. And so best of luck as you conduct all of these shows and put on an amazing performance this
Thank you very
holiday
much.
season.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you, Andrew. And if you would like more information about any of the shows that we talked about today, we'll have their website listed below for the Fort Wayne Philharmonic. So check it out and get your tickets. We'll be right back. This segment sponsored by Fort Wayne Philharmonic.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the show. And remember, you can always catch up on episodes and segments of Living Local 15 by going to WANE.com and also by downloading the WANE app, and check us out on YouTube. I'll leave you with this. Give a little smile, give a little wave, share a little light and love today while you're out, and also make it a good one. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow because it's Friday. Bye-bye.
Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.